Hi everybody, happy Sunday. I hope you're all having a magical day. I want to thank you, first of all, for showing so much consideration and patience and understanding as I did not post videos for several days. I was deep into the trenches of shadow work and doing a bunch of manifestation rituals, so my energy was being exerted otherwise, but that allowed me to come back at full capacity and offer you guys something that I think is going to be really, really special today. Today I want to talk to you guys about messy emotions. Now, I am fully against toxic positivity and emotional bypassing. I do not believe that it is healthy to pretend that everything is love and light all the time. I'm constantly saying love and light only culture is toxic, it's harmful, it ends up hurting us and making us feel very isolated. I'm against it and I will probably never be otherwise. So there is a line between toxic positivity and having a victim mindset. Somewhere in between those two things is like the healthy emotional space to be. We are human beings. We are having a human experience. Our souls may be infinite and mystical, but we right now are here on earth and we are going to feel emotions that are uncomfortable, that are dense, that are heavy, that are confusing, that sometimes make us feel like we are sent back to places that we have ascended from, that can really just make us question our own ability to manifest the life that we want, whatever the case may be. Emotions don't fit into a box. They're not always that easy to sort through, to let go of, and to process. But there is a difference between being honest about what you're feeling and allowing it to come in waves and honoring those emotions and being stuck in a victim mentality. You don't want to fall into that victim mindset. You don't want to constantly be at the hands of everything feeling wrong. You don't want to be always focused on what is not right, because that's only going to attract into your life more situations that validate your inner narrative that everything is nothing but crap. But you also don't want to emotionally bypass. You don't want to get into one of those spaces where you are so desperate to find the positivity in crappy situations that you don't allow yourself to acknowledge, process, feel, and come to peace with your authentic emotions. Emotionally bypassing will have you thinking that you are triumphing over a difficult situation, and then later on you get triggered, and that trigger happens because you never dealt with it. So that trigger is trying to highlight the fact that you still have inner healing to do, and it's going to hit you like a slap across the face. But if you allow yourself to acknowledge your true emotions, if you allow yourself without trying to hold yourself to an emotional expectation to say, hey, I feel angry, I feel hurt, I feel betrayed, I feel unsafe, I feel confused, I feel like I'm not good enough, I feel ugly, I feel fat, I feel stupid, whatever those real emotions are. If you acknowledge that you're feeling that thing, and turn inward and ask yourself where that feeling is coming from and what it's trying to teach you, then you can process it in a healthy manner. And later on, if you do happen to get triggered because you're supposed to go to like a deeper level of healing about that situation, it won't feel as abrasive. Now, when we are effectively introspecting and when we are honoring our true emotions, that doesn't mean that things won't happen later on that trigger something inside of us. There are different levels to healing. So you can genuinely feel like you have gotten past something, and then later on something in your life can come up and it can make you remember the pain, the betrayal, the anger, the sadness of that specific situation. But if you have been properly introspecting, if you have been processing your emotions in a healthy manner, if you have been validating your own truths, then when that happens, it really won't be such an aggressive experience. It'll be something that you'll be like, oh, okay, there's a deeper level to this. I can heal a little bit more. Okay, I'm meant to remember the lesson that I kind of pushed into the back of my mind once I got away from this. You will do that introspecting and you'll be able to get through those waves of that next level of healing. But if you are love and light and like there's no nasty emotions, like I'm just going to shove all of my true feelings down with the feeling smusher so that I can show up and appear to be this like perfect human being who doesn't feel anything that's a mess, then what ends up happening is you kind of let your triggers take you over when they happen. Your shadow side jumps completely into the driving seat of your life. And when you're triggered, you start acting reactively, you start putting other people down, you like completely function from the darker parts of your persona and not like the divine feminine darker parts. You start functioning from your wounds. That's where that reactivity, that competition, that pettiness, all of those kind of things get dredged up. Where your dark energy is good energy in a lot of ways. It helps you understand where you're not being respected. It helps you understand your creativity. It helps you understand like your link to the divinity. However, if you are not introspecting and you are always shoving your emotions down and you're not processing things authentically, then you are going to become one with your triggers instead of becoming one with your higher self. You guys following me? So that is why that whole love and light culture, emotional bypassing, that whole mindset is really, really toxic. You are going to have emotions that suck. There are going to be times where you question your worth. There are going to be times where you're grieving. There are going to be times when your heart gets broken. There are going to be times that you are tempted to fall back into old strongholds that you've broken out of. That is going to happen. That is part of humanity. But if you make it a habit to validate your emotions, to feel them, to allow them to come, to practice mindfulness on the days where they are very heavy and give yourself permission to be authentic and truthful, then you will ride out the waves. You will ride out the ride of that emotion without it taking over your whole life. I used to be so reactive when I got triggered that I would literally be down for days anytime my feelings got hurt. Like it would cripple me. I would be paralyzed by my own emotions. I've gotten to the space where if I get really, really triggered about something and I get hurt, if my heart gets broken, I can literally get back up on my feet the next day and keep going on my path because I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know how to introspect. I know how to be mindful, and I know how to self-heal. But back when I was not in that space, when somebody would hurt my feelings, when somebody would make me feel like my inner worthiness wounds were being triggered, I literally couldn't function. Like that was it. Like I would sometimes spend a week or two just down. Like I could not get back up. Those emotions overtook my entire physical being. I would get sick. I would have anxiety symptoms that were like uncontrollable. And now I'm at the space where if something really hurts me, I look inward and I go, okay, like I acknowledge that this is how I'm actually feeling. It is an uncomfortable emotion and it is not in alignment with how I like to usually feel. But I have control over my emotions and I do not consent to this emotion having control over my life, and I do not consent to being reactive or petty or competitive or rude or whatever the case may be in response to this emotion. I keep going. I choose happiness. I choose joy. I choose healing. I choose alignment. Then I get back up on my feet and I move forward. So that is my personal take on messy emotions. They happen. It's best to just admit that you're feeling that way. Allow yourself to feel it so that you can introspect, so that you can move through those emotions and so that they don't haunt you. If you shove them down, if you try to pretend that they are not there, if you emotionally bypass them, you are not going to be able to process your triggers in a healthy manner when they inevitably come up so that you can actually truly heal from what you're emotionally bypassing in the moment. Have a great day, everybody. I will definitely go into more of this later. Take care of yourselves, all right? Bye.